This is our ear posting kit. I like to keep everything in one spot and have more supplies than I need for one set of posts, which makes it nice because if you run out of tape doing a set of posts, you have another roll right there. It's also very portable because it has a handle. So if we ever are going out of the house, like on a hike, and say a post gets dirty or wet and we need to change it out real quick, all of our supplies are here and we can carry it wherever we need to. So this is just a great idea to keep everything together. In our kit, we have a couple of different items. First off, we have tape. This is called Zonas tape. It's made by Johnson & Johnson. It's a white 1-inch thick tape. You use this for both the posts and the posting process. It's super nice. It's on Amazon. They sell it by the case of 12 rolls. I would say usually one roll lasts me about 3 posting sets, so about 6 posts total. We have tampons in various sizes. These tampons are the cardboard ones. Usually when puppies first start out, they're at a regular size. And as they get older, they bump up to the super and then the super plus, which is just the thickness is different. The length is all the same. I also have scissors to cut any vet wrap if I need to use it. Back here is my supply of vet wrap. I recommend getting the 2-inch wide because then you can do 2 depending on the size of the ears, which is nice instead of doing like a big 4-inch, which sometimes you have to cut in half. But it comes in different colors, which is always fun. So that's our supply right there, vet wrap. So we have a little bit of everything just right here, and it's super convenient. To make an individual post, you'll need a tampon and the tape that we talked about previously. So this is a regular size tampon because the puppy that we're gonna post right now is about 9 weeks old, so he's still small. So the cardboard on the outside is what you want. You don't want any plastic applicators. So usually with this, I push the tampon out just a little bit because this part will go on the base of the ear, and it's great because it absorbs any moisture that might be in the ear, keeping the ear safe from any infection, and it also is nice and comfortable for the puppy, so when they're playing, this cardboard part isn't rubbing on them, but this nice soft cotton part is. So with that, I push out the tampon just a little bit and then pull this up. You don't want to pull it all the way out, but you do want it where it's snug, but also the length is still there. So my first thing that I do is I take a little bit of tape, and this tape is also super nice because you don't need scissors. You can just rip it with your fingers, and I take the tape and I secure this part where it's able to move with just a nice piece of tape to kind of tape it in place. Now with this string, you're able to cut it if you wish. I most of the time just leave it because it's not super necessary. Okay, so now that you have that tape secure there, you're gonna take the tape, sticky side down, and place it on the top and kind of secure it around like that. And then you're gonna take the tape and flip it upside down. So the sticky side is on the outside, and you're going to start to roll the tape around the outside of the tampon with the sticky side out. This is what's gonna stick to the puppy's ear and keep the tampon in place. So it's easy, you just have to roll it down, make sure it overlaps just a little bit. You wanna do this at a downward angle. So see how the tape isn't straight, but at an angle. So that way you roll down the tampon and not just straight across. And once you get to the bottom, you just tear it off like that and secure it, and then the whole outside part is sticky. But it's not too sticky to irritate the puppy's ear, just enough stickiness to keep it in place. So then you make your other one, and you have 2, 1 for each ear. Now the next part, I suggest that you get your tape or any vet wrap that you're using pre-torn or pre-cut before you get the puppy. So with this first method of just using the tape, I like to do 4 strips. So I do a nice long strip, and this will go at the base of the ear. So I do 1 for each ear, and then 2 smaller strips to secure the top of the ear. If you're going to be using vet wrap, I suggest that you pre-cut it. You can't really tear vet wrap, so you have to use scissors. So with this 2-inch thick, I cut the same thing, just 2 longer strips and 2 shorter strips. The benefit of vet wrap is that it's not sticky, it just sticks to itself, so you're not going to be pulling any hair out of the dog's ear or on the outside of the ear, which is nice, because then the puppy won't have those bald spots that have to grow back once the posting's done. The issue with vet wrap is that since it sticks to itself, it needs to be applied a little snugly, but not too snug, because it can restrict the blood flow and cause swelling, which eventually, if you don't take the vet wrap off and it is too tight, part of your puppy's ear can die, and there's several issues with that. So I recommend doing the tape method first until you're comfortable with vet wrap, and then doing vet wrap because there are some benefits to it. Okay, so you're gonna need help holding the puppy. You can't do it by yourself. So have somebody keep his head still. After he's been posted a couple times, he should be able to hold still by himself. So you're gonna have that tampon with the tape on the outside, and you're going to put the base of it with the cotton down in the base of the ear, and you're gonna wanna not push it so that way the ear is irritated, but you are gonna wanna slide it down deep into the canal, and you want a nice snug fit, so if the tampon's loose, you gotta go up a size. And then you take the ear and don't pull too hard, but you wanna make sure it's taut and pull it all the way up the base and kind of wrap the ear around it so that way it's sticky and all stuck in there in place. This is what a good post looks like, so you wanna make sure that the post stays that way. So to secure it, you can use tape. So if you take one of those longer pieces and tape down at the base, and then just gently wrap around. If you have too much excess, you can rip it off. And that secures the bottom part of the ear. And then if you get one of the smaller pieces, you can do the top part. I like to leave the tip, the very tip of the ear, so you see this part exposed, because then you can see if the post is too tight, if there's any swelling. The tape method's really good because it's super safe. There isn't too many risk of doing it too tight unless you really, really pull tight. It's also nice because if he does have any kind of sores from those stitches, you can leave that exposed and still be able to apply some Neosporin there. So that's how I do a tape post. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to do a vet wrap post. So even though this ear almost looks like it's perfectly standing, we want to continue posting. We don't want to, let it get any bad habits, because if he were to sleep on it tonight, he might sleep on it like this, which will cause a fold. He might sleep on it like that. So we want to make sure that until at least he's done teething and done growing it height-wise, that he is still in posts. So don't be tempted just to let him be out all day because they look perfect, because sometimes things change. So again, with this, I take it, put it down in the base, kind of as far as it will go, pull the ear just a little bit to make it nice and secure, make sure the base is all the way in there, because sometimes when they shake, we don't want it to pop out like that. I want to make sure it's in good and deep. This isn't painful for the puppy, it's just a little uncomfortable. He doesn't like having his head held. So with the vet wrap, the caution is not to have it too tight. With that, you can restrict the blood flow, and like the tip of the ear can die. So with this, I only recommend doing it if you're super confident. So with any kind of posting, you want to start here and roll around this way. That's really important because this part of the ear right here, we want to make sure that it's folded like so. We don't want this to be straight. We want to make sure there's a nice crease right here. Put the tampon in. I know, buddy. I know, relax. And then we're going to take the vet wrap, place it along the tape. You kind of want to do this at a little bit of an angle, not straight across. And then don't pull, just kind of wrap and make sure that fold is there. And then wrap around and then secure. You don't want to pull tight. And then after this, I like to squeeze it just to get the vet wrap to stick to itself. And then since his ears are a little bit smaller, with this part, I'm just going to put a piece of tape over it. Sometimes once they're longer, you can do 2 strips of vet wrap, but you do want to make sure you see at least a bit of the tip so that way you can watch for any kind of swelling.